stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Greetings, Southern people. As we ascend, as we grow to new levels, we face with new devils, new opposition, new challenges. But the old devils gotta go if we're growing, if we're ascending, we elevate, we raising the frequency. So I greet everybody from a place of feeling good for no reason at all. From my higher self to yours, I'm operating in the truest and authentic version of my light self, my highest light self. I hope you all are feeling good for no reason at all. Because if you really change your life, you're probably finding out that everything changing in your life. So, I hope you ain't holding on to something that you already made an intention to go, because it's probably causing you problems. This can be seen in our lives. These words that I speak, they can be seen in our lives. It can't be perceived. Are we in a place to see what life is really showing us by evidence of what's going on in our own life? That's a whole nother question. That amount to a whole nother equation for each and every individual. If you really change it, if you really changing your life, everything and everyone in your life may change. Are you ready to accept the responsibilities that come with change? Are you ready to accept what change may shift around and move and replace in your life? Because that's what change do. What real change do. So if we learn nothing at all, I hope we're learning how to choose wisely. And why I say that is because if you're taking back your mind, now is a wonderful place to be. Present is a wonderful place to be. Somebody will catch it. We got one or two choices. We're either going to stay stuck to ego, or we're going to tap into and embrace the higher mind and live life from that place. Above situations, above conditions, above differences, above judgment, above dispute, above separation. You know, it's a beautiful place to be. I use words to paint a picture to the different dimensions and realms of paradise that I'm allowed to see. Falling off. What is falling off? I done fell off a whole bunch of times. Anybody out there ever fell off? Falling off because you fell off. And falling off so you can be better off. It's not the same thing. Somebody want to hear that again. So the day ain't going to make y'all rewind. I'm going to do you the honor. Falling off because you fell off, because all of us don't either fell out or fell off with somebody. But I'm going to show y'all, I want y'all to pay attention to this difference. Falling off because you fell off, and falling off so you can be better off. It's not the same thing. Recognize the difference. Is anybody listening? Because you got to be listening to recognize the difference. Sound carries vibrations, and vibrations are carried through words. Is anybody listening? When you believe in yourself, you will find to see that it don't sit well with everybody you may know when you believe in yourself, because it may contradict with the things that they believe about them. Is anybody listening? You don't need anybody's permission to be you unless you're trying to be something else. Is anybody listening? You don't need anybody's permission to do what your heart and soul is telling you to do, unless you got your goals tied up in somebody else's dreams, visions, and ambitions. Is anybody listening? This video for the Southern people only. So if you ain't Southern, if you're not a ruler of your own destiny by taking control of your own mind, taking your mind back, then it's probably over your head. It's probably not for you, and that's okay. Go back and watch some other videos that lead up to the elements of the things that I talk about, because we can't teach nobody nothing. Everybody already ingrained in how they want to be, and then we find people to interact and interrelate to that frequency. But I'm a shapeshifter. Ain't no limit, ain't no rule. So I'm here for the people that ain't no limit and there ain't no rule. We're gonna do it together, you hear me? And we don't need nobody's permission, because we listen. You don't need anybody's permission to get up, to get out, and get something. Don't let them days of your life pass by. Y'all remember that song? But you don't need anybody's permission. Is anybody listening? You don't need anybody's permission to succeed. But how do you define success? What does success look like to you and in your life? Is anybody listening? Ancestors want me to talk a little bit. These things they gave me to transmit. See YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever else they got out there, TikTok, and everything else. Allow people to be anything they want to appear to be before anybody that'll go for it. Is anybody catch that? But the people who know them behind closed doors know who they really are. Is anybody listening? If you're authentic, what I call authentic, most people call real. So I'm gonna use layman terms for layman men. If you real, if you authentic, meaning true to yourself, you probably spend a lot of time alone. That don't mean you're alone, it just means you spend a lot of time alone. If you spend a lot of time alone, you really get to know the better part of yourself from inside out. As within, so without. As below, so above. I'm not saying that I know it all. I'm just saying I know what I know according to the scrolls of my lifetimes. To say that I know when we move, when we speak, when we act in wholeness, in harmony, in alignment of reality, of how we see ourselves, and not the figments of the ego, the external reality corresponds and acts in accordance to that. what you transmit, emanate, and put out into it. As a man thinketh, so is he. We have heard this many times before. But how many of us really take the time to discipline our mind and put these laws that come behind these words into daily practice, into daily demonstration, to see an accumulated manifestation in our externality. Each one must show themselves to be approved according to that which they claim to know. It must be a living demonstration in our lives. Not only that we may see it, but it would be a testimony to others. Sovereign people. Sovereign people need sovereign people around them, in sync people around them. So, cause when you're going in the direction that others are going, and y'all going in that same direction together, it's easier to get to the next destination, or the next pit stop, with less hassle, less confusion, and less chaos. But when you're trying to get to a certain place with people that don't see the vision, that don't see the goal, that don't see the destination, then you're going to go through chaos, you're going to go through conflict, and you're going to go through strife. Life will show you what's for you and what's not, what's correct and what's not, in people, in the plans, in the situations, through conversations, or whatever it is it takes to show you who you are to you, so you can be better to those that reflect you. You are your mind, and the mind don't belong to nobody, because we all use it. I'm going to say it again. I am my mind. And the mind don't belong to nobody, because we all use it. So what is it to be sovereign? To be sovereign is to be the ultimate controller over your physical matter, your environment, synchronized with the realm of spirit, which is the manipulation of the waveform. We're supposed to be masters of the wave, masters of the matrix, which is the cord or string that intersects us with our realities. We are the 5-point pentagram. We are the star, or the stars of the universe. Thank you for being here. This is Cosmic Consciousness. Feel good for no reason at all. Peace and salute to God. Love y'all.